They gonna know. They gonna see you. What's up, guys? Okay, we're live on the YouTube. Holla at your boy doing this shit Friday night. Keeping it fun, keeping it clean, keeping it sober. Okay. Hope you guys are doing good. Feel free to like, share, follow as always. Doing $5 live questions right now at the moment, or if you want to reach out for one-on-one, $2 a minute. Check out the Patreon too. It's only $3 a month. We got our first subscriber. Shout out to her. I just posted a 10-minute reading on the Patreon, so go check that out. Also, what do you want to call it? Like reduce rates, reduce bonus prices, I guess you would want to call it, for lack of a better way of putting it, on the Patreon. But check that out. Check out what's available on the Patreon. And yeah, let's do it. Spirit of gratitude, joy, love, and light, highest possible messages at this time. Spirit of gratitude, joy, love, and light, highest possible messages at this time. Creative, collective, unconscious. This reminds me of the old Periscope days where you would like pop in with a live stream, and they took that away from us. They took away the Periscope. Periscope was popping back in the day. You could zoom out and see who was there live, direct in the room. Okay, we got the Nine of Wands in reverse here. Sagittarius energy coming out of this kind of hard work, hitting the holiday seasons, a season of reflection, a season of taking a load off and relaxing. Now, I should say that, I do subscribe and listen to and watch readers that read in the sidereal, Eastern astrological front, but I read Western. So depending on, how you see it or how you choose to subscribe to, whatever, the sun is not in Sagittarius, it's in Scorpio right now with Eastern astrology. So not for nothing. What's up to the YouTube viewers? Again, guys, taking $5 questions for the live. You could either do that, in private, or obviously on the live feed. Or if you just want a thorough one-on-one reading, feel free to reach out. $2 a minute. Feel free to like, share, follow, subscribe here and across all social media platforms. Running Gun Tarot. Okay, you guys already know the deal. First card that wanted to come out here was the Nine of Rods in reverse. I was explaining that technically in the Eastern kind of format, sidereal astrology, Sun is in Scorpio, so it's illuminating our 8th house. Taboos, taxes, death, magic, sex, kind of joint bank accounts, partnerships, shared finances, things of that nature. That's what the 8th house rules in Scorpio. So it's illuminating that. The sun is illuminating that. We got that solar eclipse, the moon in Sagittarius, again, per Western. And then previously per Western, the sun is in Sagittarius, but it's depending on what you're, subscribing to. I like to, frankly, cherry pick from both and try to apply it. So we're talking about basically like a 2-front spectrum as far as, what characteristics and attributes of the planets and the signs that you're applying to yourself, which isn't bad. It's, in math and mathematics, you have a correction for, however many, plus and minus percentage of accuracy. So you could, applicably say the same for astrology, but in any regard, Nine of Wands in the reverse, coming out of a burdensome energy, doing more than your fair share of work, tapping into the holiday season, Page of Cups in the upright is a young energy. I've recently seen this as tuning into and tapping into music, creative, art outlets, expressiveness, using this time to get in touch and in tune with your creative measures and your creative nature. Page of Cups, I always read that more in a spiritual sense. I've also seen that read as like not quite, meaning something has missed its mark. As far as an offer, traditionally depicts a man, holding a chalice with the fish heads coming out. So, it could be interpreted as like, I have this kind of tainted cup to drink from, hence the not quite interpretation. Or it could be interpreted as, spiritual connection and commune. Okay, so I always like to interpret it as, your daily kind of maintenance, your daily upkeep in regards to spiritual work, prayer, mantra, meditation, journaling, but artistic creative expression could be done as well through that. A more of a playful outlet, expressive outlet for the sake in and of itself, getting outside of, making money, time and space constraints. What do they call it? The money exchangers, when you're exchanging your money for what's up, soft locks. Just taking $5 questions, doing a general collective read. Also feel free to reach out for a one-on-one reading. It's only $2 a minute, simulcasting on the YouTube as well. Hope you guys are doing good, having a good Friday night. So these energies are getting away from like the money exchanger energies of always constantly making a profit, depending on where you're at in your life. Obviously, if your mindset is not geared towards finances, and that's not where you're at. Page of Cups is kind of doing something for the spiritual nature or the in and of itself nature. So that's what we're getting here. Nine of Wands is kind of getting off the hamster wheel. Going with the flow comes to mind with the Page of Cups. This is Pisces energy, the koi fish, a luck energy. It reminds me of Jupiter moving into Pisces as well, in the Western kind of framework of astrology. This will happen after the 28th, I believe, of December. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, abundance, in the sign of Pisces, which is just kind of like, I always interpret it as like this like world reality manifester, able to kind of whip something up manifestation wise, mutable water sign, going with the flow, using the momentum, like this kind of like in a way that like a judo practitioner would. Optimal judo move, as Ram Dass would say, but it's typically in association with dreams, really, fantasy, the planet Neptune, the underworld, the subconscious psyche, fantasies. On the negative end of the spectrum, it could have to do with illusions, distractions, escapism. But on the positive, it could kind of bring peace on earth. It could kind of be a window where you're kind of actively manifesting, heaven on earth, dare I say. Now, we know that the kingdom of God, is within, not to get too heavy in biblical and scripture, but so let's see Jupiter in Pisces after the 28th of December, I believe it is. And we have Neptune in its home sign of Pisces, March 25. So guys, if this is not a window for you to fucking, really tap into that high frequency resonancies, and hopefully they are of the higher spectrum, from the waist up, from the heart chakra up. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus, the planet of shock, awe, rebellion, in our kind of second house astrology, money sector, day in, day out income. Taurus is steady Eddie, slow and steady wins the race, slow plodding, having to do with materialisms, wealth, how we generate income, how we generate value, worth, wealth. Uranus, this is like anything can happen in the Wild West with NFTs, cryptos, online businesses, self-employment, contract work. We're literally creating the future here with Jupiter in Pisces after the 28th of this month. And then Again, Uranus and Taurus, and then Neptune and Pisces. So we really just kind of gotta hitch our wagon to these beautiful, lovely energies. And again, the future isn't set in stone. There's a lot of dystopian talk. There's a lot of fear mongering, and there's a lot of worry and concern. But if we just maintain the understanding, that this is simply meant to kind of lower our vibration, then we understand how powerful we really are, because we're really truly the ones in control and power. The people, power to the people. To reference some wordplay that I heard somebody use, people, like peephole, through a door right there. We're the peephole for the universe, for God's eyes, so to speak. So if we have that power of our awareness and our consciousness being kind of quantumly embedded and tied and connected with each other, then we have a say in how we act and how we kind of do this thing called life. And it begins with us. It's the butterfly effect. It's the smallest grain of rice tipping the scale. So that's really what's up. That's really where your power's at. And if you know that, then you could start to kind of deconstruct your approach to others. And it takes awareness, but that's the spiritual path. That's the spiritual practice. Let's see what else wants to come up here. Spirit gratitude, your love, mind, highest possible messages at this time. Spirit gratitude, your love, mind, highest possible messages at this time. And again, that spiritual integration, that spiritual fold, we're talking Nine of Wands in the reverse. So we're talking about, light work. Light work, both literally and figuratively. Light work shouldn't be this kind of strenuous, Nine of Wands in the reverse. This is using those kind of weak force energies, not as a pejorative, but in the sense of some nuanced energies, which, oftentimes actually does a lot more than kind of really trying to forcefully will something. Okay. And when I say that, the Devil card is here. This is being tied to something. Could be substance abuse, addiction, codependency. This could be giving your power away in some way, shape, or form. This is also, I've heard recently interpreted, this is Capricorn energy, by the way, Venus in retrograde in Capricorn. We could talk a little bit about that until March 22. This is also acting off of a little bit of information is dangerous here with the Devil card, because you could only have one side of the story, and you demonize and vilify, and you don't know why that person is behaving the way they behave. We have to kind of zoom out into a more compassionate interpretation, and understanding that person is a product of their environment. I was talking to my mom earlier about that. And when you see people just like, damn, that's a bad dude, like that's a negative person, or that's just a bad person. If you can't understand what they're showing you, in that one-on-one direct interface, then you have to zoom out to a more compassionate kind of outlook, and understanding of their product of their environment. And it doesn't mean that you have to fuck with them. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything, have anything to do with them, dealings wise, energetically. If that's the case, then, remove yourself from that node, that expression of that environment, and go to especially if they're not trying to change or have self-awareness, or if they're not on a path of spiritual practice, or, humbling themselves enough. I self-admittedly have a person in my life that I love and care for dearly, but they're just kind of showing these signs of narcissistic psychopathy and manipulation because of some sort of emotional kind of mental illness that I think that they have. And we're in the season of, in particular, the feminine energy, with the Ghislaine Maxwell case going on, the Epstein thing, where it's like you're really kind of seeing some whistleblower effects here, and the feminine energy is kind of really taking the mask off and revealing herself. But obviously, this is not gender specific. These are just energies. We spoke a little bit about Venus in retro and Capricorn till March 22. About March 5th is when Venus leaves Capricorn. Venus, love, relationships, desire, ruling signs, Taurus and Libra, retrograde in Capricorn, 10th house, notoriety, career, public image, masculine energy. So if you found yourself kind of investing heavily too much into relationships, then this kind of retrograde season is going to allow you to focus in particular on your career and your public image. If you've kind of held up your end in the love department, the trials and the tests and the obstacles and the roadblocks and the challenges of love, some people have used that time to cheat on their spouse, or to be conniving and inconsiderate, however negatively that's expressed within a relationship. So if you've done that over this past year prior to Venus going in retrograde, right now she's in shadow period, I believe. Earlier in December, she went in shadow, late in November, she went in shadow period, and she's going to be full-blown retrograde by the 19th till March 22. 19th of December till March 22. So if you use that time prior to that, when you were, my sense is that because Venus was in Sagittarius, so Capricorn is definitely more so public image, whatever, you've had to put your work and your public image possibly on the back burner for more so the love relationship dynamic of Venus. Remember, she's love and money, beautifying your home, all that stuff. So Capricorn is really, truly, okay, now you get this kind of extra time to focus and redouble back on your career. So, but if you use that time where Venus was in regular, ordinary time to fuck around on your relationships, now you're going to have to be doing some kind of like collateral damage, some recouping and trying to patch up that relationship. So now you're not getting ahead in your career because your relationship was full of fuckery. Okay. So now you're using this time, which could be bonus time if you were acting right, if you were acting ethically and morally, you can use this time to get ahead. But since now you're doing patchwork, that is what it is. It's kind of wasted, lost time. Now, the good thing about that is that, this is really a kicking of the tires to kind of challenge the durability of the relationship anyways. So chances are, again, since we're in the season, Scorpio season, Eastern sidereal astrology, people really showing their true colors over time. Capricorn is nose to the grindstone. This is by any means necessary, with an ethical, moral means of kind of doing whatever it takes to reach your goal. And it's a very long-term energy, earth sign, cardinal. So if you're not in it to win it, then yeah, some that kind of weakness is going to reveal itself. So that's what we're talking about. So people are pulling out of relationships. People are pulling out of, job contracts or maybe, from employers that they're not fucking with anymore. 9 of Pentacles in the upright, Virgo energy. 9s are about independence. Pentacles, finances and resources. What can we say? This is financial freedom. Self-reliance, standing on your 2 feet, abundantly. Can't be knocked off the hinges, can't have the rug pulled out from under you. So this is also a phase and period to get your affairs in order in that regard, your financial independence and freedom. So that can mean a number of different things to different people. But that's what this time, like I said before, getting ahead of it with Venus retro and Capricorn. Now is this perfect opportunity if you did have someone pull out in a relationship, or if you are leaving an employer. This is a perfect time to focus on your own shit, again, which you've had to put on the back burner for possibly love and relationships, maybe even toxic love and relationships that, didn't have an ROI, or return on investment. Let me see what else wants to come out. And then I'm going to wrap out. I'm going to wrap up, record some dailies, and then, just do what I got to do for the day. But spread your gratitude, joy, love, and light. Closing messages for the folk. Spread your gratitude, joy, love, and light. Highest possible messages for the people. Peepholes. Let's see what else wants to come out here. So this is good. This is good that the devils are revealing themselves in your life, because now you know to look the other way. Now you know to focus on your freedom here with the symbology of the hawk there. Virgo being 6th house, health, daily routines, volunteership. Reminds me of the Two of Pentacles in the upright, staying true to your daily routines, due diligence. The Nine of Rods wanted to come out yet again, this time in the black and white. So you're taking out the substance, you're taking out the energy. In this particular deck, they feature a couple of cards where they're duplicates, the duplicate being the black and white version. So I interpret that as like the substance or the essence is being removed. In this case, from the hardship was the devil dynamic here. So you're taking out the color from this. You're retrieving your energy, your freedom, focused like a laser beam. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. If you find that you're dealing with nonsensical people that just drive you crazy up a wall, that's how you know to not fuck with those people. You could love them, you could be emotionally involved or invested, but that's how you know not to fuck with those people, because they're not playing by the rules of regular sane folk, or people that are on a spiritual path that are trying not to dwell in that insanity or whatever. So you could try to rationalize and reason, make 1 + 1 add to 2 all you want, but typically if they're showing tendencies of kind of gaslighting or self-victimizing, everyone else is to blame but them, then you know that you're dealing with kind of like borderline psychopathy, narcissisms, that you want to remove yourself. And again, it's going to be hard because your tendency, especially if you're, not to the term around, but if you're an empath, if you're going to see it as the person in them that you love is like a child behind bars, like a baby behind bars, and you want to care for them and love for them, but they're kind of narcissistic ego bailiff or security personnel is like guarding, that kind of part of you that you could empathize with and connect with. So in which case you kind of got to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as hard as it can be. You can't be emotionally manipulated to kind of stick around and keep on feeding into something that, it's not healthy or constructive. So that's what I'm getting. Feel free to interpret that as loosely or as tightly as you need to. That can also apply to, friends, groups, employers, putting down the burdens. Okay, really trying to, but also the holiday chaos. Okay, even the tradition of having to kind of allocate your time to family gatherings, and that could be a hassle. That could be, filled with a bunch of BS that you're not trying to involve yourself with or give your time and attention to. So that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, guys, I fucking throw down here. Really liking how this live stream came out. I feel like I got a lot of information across. I'm going to want to start to do this more and more. Feel free to reach out for a one-on-one. Love you guys. YouTube channel is over 700 subscribers, which is fucking dope. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube if you're not already. It really helps. It means the world to me. Like, share, follow, comment, subscribe, share with family, friends, peers, people that you think might be interested in the entertainment value or a one-on-one reading. Running Gun Tarot across all social media. What else can I say? Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Running Gun Tarot, all one word, spelled RUNNGUNTAROT. The website is runandguntarot.com, RUNANDTAROT.com. That just has all my social media links and all my contact info. Holler at your boy. Love you guys. Have a safe Friday and happy holidays. Peace. Download video save.